Hello, everybody. And we are not back. Oh my god, we spent so much time talking, I forgot to fix the cameras. Shut up, Neil. So Rayron's where he belongs. Let me fix the other ones.
Professional streamer!
So we spent so much time just kind of like chatting about this, that, and the other thing. I entirely forgot to fix this. That's okay.
I enjoyed our company so much, he forgot to do his job.
Well, we were having a lot of awesome conversation. So let's...
When do we not?
Cool. So poor poor Tesh needs to sleep, so he's sleeping right now. And we have him gone. Cool. Anything else that we need to...
You need to press record.
I did press record. Thank you.
Music volume, alright?
I think the music volume...
I would just say
it's a combat
as well,
music, so it's probably a little loud.
In reading chat, we did not plan out this scene. I went and got a drink and tried to wake up a little more.
Yeah. You got a drink. You had to mentally
what's in
prepare
chat?
yourself, so on and so forth. So you're good. I can change the music to something a little bit softer. And why don't we go now? All right, boys. You're riding into Vigil. The two of you riding into Vigil, making yourself, like I said, bringing a couple of your guards with you. Not a ton. I imagine you don't bring Elliot or the General, or do you? Actually, you know what? That's a really good question. Do you bring Elliot or the General to be a part of or witness what transpires next?
Yes, because Elliot asked
if
for
Rayron
openness.
summons whoever,
I would
one
offer
way.
for both of them to come, should they want.
Okay. So, the General, do me a favor when you offer to them, you can just roll me. I don't know if one's there for it as well. Is it just you, Neil, or does one go as well to offer to them?
No, one's too distracted this time.
Okay, why don't you roll me a sense motive check there, Neely boy.
Oh, Neely
I know if I said that you
boy.
were rolling sense motive first, Jake would have been like, yeah, one's there. Succeed. The General says, it sounds like a matter between leadership. Perhaps you should go.
Cold, my dude, cold. Yeah, Rayron would obviously have said that. He's offered. He's not going to be like, would you like to come? No, you're ordered to come.
And Elliot, who I imagine you ask separate from the General, and not both the boys together. When you offer to Elliot to come, he says, I suppose if there's going to be three on their side of the conversation, we need to have three on ours. Is the General going?
He refused the invitation.
Very well, then I suppose I will stand as the counterpart to their third. I think it is more suiting. I am more of the counterpart to their accountant than the General would be.
Yes, I guess you are.
And he will, of course, get up his things and whatnot and come with you.
Let's go.
All right.
You
Yeah,
guys
we
go
make
walk-
our way to the gates.
Making your
and,
way downtown, past the broken walls.
I would not proceed ahead. I would wait at the broken walls and request an audience.
Oh, hello. And it would be a very formal way to do it. And eventually, like, a couple of guards will come out and escort you in to there. When they meet with you this time, they actually change where it is that you intend to meet. They've cleared it out of all the persons and will, in fact, instead meet with you inside of the library.
Symbolic of neutral ground, perhaps?
And so when you're led there, you're like, here we go. Look at that big, beautiful, terrible, gorgeous, awful temple that we're... Ooh, this way instead. When you're let inside, when you walk in, you can get the impression very quickly by how the guards are kept outside, both yours and theirs, right? Assuming you go in without your guards and just Elliot. Both yours and theirs, the place is empty. You imagine that Vanessa is not there. The librarians are not there. Any persons borrowing books. Maybe there's a kid hidden between the shelves. Hee hee. Not. That's not supposed to be.
Commander Cedric's gonna find him.
No. This is the backstory to some future campaign that somebody wants to play in Aurorum. Be like, my character was there when he was a child and witnessed the. Well, let's see what they witness.
The Crimson Book.
The Crimson Book. Is that the
Red
name of
ink.
your... So,
One just undoes his armor, and then what you see is there, strapped to his chest, is a massive bomb, and he just blows it up.
Oh my god!
well, and that's the show.
I was not expecting. I was like, legit. I saw that as RP at first. I was like, oh, why is one taking off his armor? This is where. Oh.
It was
like,
all to take care of that nosy
Octavia,
kid.
I'm going to show you what the Hetman taught me.
Oh my god. Haven't they already had that? Saying that, though, that is the way to end this piece. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, good, carry on.
Okay, Kaboomer. All right, so let's go. So yeah, my apologies. You open. You go in there, and you can see it's the three of them inside of there. I already described to you how it is their tones intend to be. Let's see if you alter that. As you go in, you start the meeting. Who wants to speak first? Do you allow Octavia, or do you choose to?
One will speak first.
Sure.
He says,
She interrupts you. Welcome.
I come with news. You are to be attacked very soon.
And literally at that point, the accounting goes, well, this went poorly. And he looks to the other two with genuine concern.
Please let one finish.
It has come to my attention that the free folk will march on the city.
Excuse me.
They have sensed your weakness, that your walls have crumbled, and they seek to sack your city. We are here to abide our treaty, and we will fight with you to defend your home. He's going to stop there and wait for the response.
First and foremost, should they choose to bring war to our home, past the city walls, which still to this day no enemy has ever done, they would find not weakness, but a strength greater than they could even hope to understand. The sentiment of your statement, however, is not lost on me. And thank you. She will look over to Cedric for a moment, who gives like a little look and a nod back. Obviously, they've spoken since the last time wherein and him did. And then she looks back to the two of you and says, do you know any of their plans beyond simply the plan to attack? Or what information do you have?
I just know that they're going to attack. I think it'll happen soon. Could happen today, could happen in a week. I'm not sure. All I know is that they will attack.
You know that they wanted us to be not involved.
Ah, yes. They did want to attack Vigil by itself. That is true. However, they will not find Vigil by itself.
They will not attack as long as your soldiers are outside the city, will they? They seem beholden to you.
No, they're not.
However, this puts us in an awkward position. In that although the main body of the free folk are encamped here, Kurzfall is relatively undefended.
Are you concerned that they would turn their armies to the north?
At this point, yes. Whether or not that is something they would actually do, and whether that is just fear speaking, I cannot say. There are stalwart defenders in Kurzfall, but they would be greatly outnumbered by the main force of the free folk, and I know that there is a camp with the hetman.
I can't speak for their attention. I can't speak to their motives. However, the hetman wished not to see me on the field of battle. I think Aurorum may be safe. However, with the free folk, you never know. But I believe that they will march on vigil. I mean, most of them, like we said, are already here. Their leader is a day and a half's ride, probably less by now.
By horse, sorry. Oh, you travels before? By horse, that actually would, so this is probably a little bit sooner. By horse is actually only a day, I think. Oh, it was by foot. That was, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, he would say, I believe they are well and truly committed to doing what they want to do, and it just so happens that they want to fight Vigil. They want to sack Vigil. They want to destroy Vigil.
If they seek to attack us, they will die inside of our walls because we will not be able to keep them outside of it. Nonetheless, with or without your aid, that would be the end of them. You said you do not understand why they would wish to risk so much. What gain could they possibly have for doing this?
One offered them gold, were they to not attack.
You've known of this for some
I
time.
tried.
You attempted to dissuade them.
I have known of it just before we got here. However, our last meeting, I was a little too heated and it slipped my mind. However, I tried to stop anything before it did happen, and all my efforts were in vain.
The high priest, because he's not an accountant, the high priest actually chimes in and says, please don't misinterpret Octavia's tone. She did not mean that as an accusation, just gathering information.
It is certainly not our intention to provoke a war between Vigil and the Free Folk.
I don't know if you can have a proper war between people who have no home. I think they're just brigands.
Brigands they may be, but there is a lot of them.
I'm not suggesting that we go so far as to attack back. I think all of us are in a bit of an injured state at the moment. This is a conundrum. Do we wait for them to attack and put our allies and put our people's lives in danger? Do we attack in advance when we don't have proof beyond what it is that someone says, potentially trying to provoke an attack or for some sort of game, since we don't understand their motives or why they have them? Or do we... I'm honestly at a bit of a loss here. I do not understand the mind of these people or why they would even attempt this.
They know that by now you will have been told. I can't speak to exactly what their plan is. I do not know it. But she was certain as certain as I've seen, that she will attack Vigil, and that nothing I could do, or maybe anyone else could offer, will stop that.
I am of two minds. The Free Folk are unique in that They do not have a city or a township to provide them with resources. They can only stay in a single place for so long before they are forced to move on. Therefore, we could attempt to wait until they do move on. My only worry would be that leaves Kurzweil at risk.
May we have a moment, my counsel and I?
You may. There is something I wish to say, though, before I go.
You need not leave. This building is large. We can step away just for a few moments, but before we do, go ahead.
I've heard from wherein that he has described me to what's the guy's name that he was talking to? Cedric as a wolf, and I've been a lone wolf for a long time. I do not know what is to come, but I'm not a lone wolf anymore. I'm part of a pack. I know where I'm from, and I renounce it. I know where my home is, and I know where I am and who I am, and I am from Valorant. I will stand with you against them. We may never like each other, but we will see where this goes.
She listens.
He nods to them.
She listens intently at what you say. The other two kind of like nod and they turn to walk back, like to go have counsel with her. And she actually holds up her hand to stop them and says, "These words that you say, this is no trick. This is from the heart."
He looks at her and she would say he looks sad. He looks defeated. And he says, "I don't know if this is right or if this is wrong. Only time will tell. May Vroga strip me of my powers if what I do is wrong."
Raren's going to place a hand on your shoulder.
And he says, "Praise be Vroga Waruk." And he looks down.
She sees all this happening. Then I also have something that I need to admit as well. You are no fools. You have a lot of information put before you. And the information that we discussed several days ago was put into letters and transported to each of our your allied cities. But it was not distributed. It was held in case you turned your back on our treaty. You come before me now, not asking for forgiveness for previous actions, and I'm not asking that of you, but honestly and openly trying to keep our treaty intact so that we may move forward for the benefit of all of our people, our own personal differences aside. I can't allow such an action to go unpunished. She'll actually give like a little bit of a smile. As soon as we finish our meeting here, I'll have order to each one of those horsemen to return to your country and to give each of those letters to you. Do with them as you please. Destroy them. Keep them. It's up to you. I questioned your honor. I was mistaken.
I do not have honor. It is not something that I believe in. It is something you hold dear. But I have my own values. And not that I should be saying this much, but I have a lot to consider. I have a lot to think about. I do not know where my place is. I do not know if what I do is right or wrong.
I was going to have private counsel with my people for a moment, because I have a plan that might be able to defeat them with little to no harm to our people. In Vigil, we have, and you can see like the tension growing between the other two as they're like looking at her like, oh shit, are you about to say something? Like, are you about to tell them? She says, clearing her throat, knowing that their eyes are on the back of her head. We have a bit of a contingency. When we broke off from Paradel, we were very powerful. It's how we were able to successfully leave them, keep them at bay, and create our little nation and stay within it for safety. You already know of one of the artifacts that we brought with us. You heard the bell when you came through here before, that unfortunately was broken during the battle. You're familiar with the sword that is at my hip, and I know you know very well, one, what kind of might can come from the person wielding this sword. There was a third item that we brought with us. An old ritual. We can provoke their attack. You take your armies and you leave, at least far enough that it might convince them to wage this war. And then you can come back if you feel it necessary to aid us from behind. And our citizens will retreat to our safe and comfortable place in the lake. It's a plan that we've always had. Should our city ever be sieged, or the siege be broken and they enter.
I know of this plan,
I don't think you do.
so others may as well.
I don't think you do. The walls are open, and so they're going to come in. But we will not be left unguarded. In Visual, we have an old ritual that we put into place. All of our dead die here. All of the bodies that perhaps die abroad are brought here. The ones that were killed by your accident, by your mistake, will be brought here as well, and they will be joined with the rest into the grave. There they rest waiting to defend their people.
You speak of necromancy.
Speak of faith. Lady Aravel gives us the ability to defend our people to the last in a moment of dire circumstances. This will allow us to keep casualties to a minimum. If they choose to attack, they will be putting themselves in harm's way, but our people, yours and mine, will be safe.
Have you ever fought the undead? Truly fought them?
No.
If they slip from your control, it is a horror that you have unleashed. I speak with experience in dealing with these things. I've met them many times in the Barrenlands, and it is not something you should take lightly.
I don't think what I'm describing and what you experienced are the same. It very well could be. You are the one with more experience. But this is something different and short-lived.
He will speak in Necrol then, and he will say, "You do not know that which you plan to unleash." And he'll just let those words linger.
As a
because
reminder,
he knows how it makes people feel.
As a reminder, Necrol is one of those languages that kind of sends a shiver down your spine and makes
Has
everybody
its own
seem
power to it.
Yeah, it makes everybody seem uncomfortable. It literally, like you said, lingers almost like a foul air in the room. There's only one person in this room that you're pretty sure understood the exact words that you said, and he stands at your side. But he is equally impacted by them as all the others, except Vigil herself. She seems to be without fear. You know what I mean? She seems to be unshaken by it. Though you don't get the look on her face of recognition of the words that you say. She says she will respond after letting that kind of settle down, because that definitely brings a tone to the room. She says, your warning is understood and appreciated. I don't think this is what you think it is. This is a gift by Lady Aravel. Lady Aravel does not mingle with the raising of corpses, with the walking dead.
Is that not what you propose? You wish to have the dead fight for you?
Those that lie at rest within the walls will be asked to defend those that live within the walls for a short time, and then they will return to rest. I can't describe it much more than this because we've never had to use it in our city. The walls have never been breached.
If I am wrong, if Rogar is with them, and you have some type of magics from Lady Aravel to raise these dead, even if it's for a short time, who's to say that it won't be turned against you? I say you do what you wish. I would say fight. If
One,
let me ask honestly, if I intend to fight, and that's when he'll start. He actually will start undoing his breastplate, and he'll say, "I'm going to fight with nothing but what Vrogar gave me, what the powers that I have that have been bestowed on me by him. And if he forsakes me, I will die there on that field of battle." But will your undead, your abominations, fight me too?
The high priest comes walking forward, bridging the kind of the space that's between your side and theirs, and says, "Chosen of the Blade, if I may, your convictions you have every reason to hold them. Your concerns, you have every reason to have them. You do not know the tenets of the faith and the power that it brings, as we do not know yours. You don't know the limitations of these blessings, as we don't know those of Valorans. I implore that you understand that what Octavia just told you is a secret that I honestly never would have shared. And I think we can all agree I'm the most hospitable one of us here.
Wherein hides a smirk.
We are asking you to have a small amount of faith in our treaty, in our bond.
I'll say one more time. You have never seen the hordes in the Barren Lands descending upon villages. If what you say turns, you will have condemned all of Adir to be the new Barren Lands. But that is... I will not tell you what to do. If this is your will, let it be. I will not speak of this to anyone, but I will fight. And I ask you again, will they turn on me?
You're not an enemy.
Then I will fight. And I will... And I may... He's confused, but he says, there is a good chance that I will die. And that's when he'll finish taking off his breastplate, and he'll start walking over to give it to one of the guards just outside the door to have taken back to his tent.
Okay. Octavia will say, I still think the appropriate approach is to convince them to attack us, to lead them into the battle. That's their mistake if they choose to attack. If you wish to guarantee that you are here for whatever fight transpires, very well then. I appreciate and accept your offer. Why don't you stay here with us in the city? Wherein, Elliot, the two of you can return to your army and lead them elsewhere so the provocation can take place. One, you can stay at my side as my personal guest.
I'm afraid.
When you hear when she says that, you can see that there's again like an uncomfortableness about the other two. From kind of like whatever phrasing she used makes him a little uncomfortable. But go ahead. Again, you're just too keen for me to not just give that to you. 91,
he
83.
says, don't wish to insult you, Vigil, but I'm not there yet. And whether I live after this battle, I will know Vrogar is with me, or I know I have forsaken everything I've ever believed. I will stay at the ruined walls. I will make my camp there, if that is acceptable. If you wish to speak with me, I am willing. However, I cannot stay within the bounds of the city.
1 second. Sorry.
The general can fall back, head towards Harad. Once our army leaves, no doubt, once they are a day's march or so away, the attack will begin. The hetman seems strangely eager. However, I might beg a favor of my kinsman. I can slip among the ranks of the Gish that are camped outside. They can head north slightly. The free folk are certain to ignore them and treat them as non-allies. And the magistrate himself can tell them that they are returning to Amorta. They have no reason to not believe this fact. And then, given the magistrate's desires to fight with the general, we can return and aid. The number of Gish are small, but it should make a difference.
She nods. So your army will leave, but the Gish will remain to a degree. One, are you sure?
I beg your pardon, but you cannot ask me. You cannot ask this of me now. May I have your permission to stay at the front gate, just outside the front gate?
You do, but if you choose to stand at that front gate, there will be no guards to defend you. You'll be facing 1,000 soldiers to yourself, as most of our guards will be pulled back and appropriately positioned for what will come. You will be a one-man wall against a tidal wave of people.
Maybe that is what I deserve.
I don't think anybody in here agrees with that.
None of you have lived my life. I do not mean that any offense to that. But Vrogar is all I have. He is my savior. And I fear if I've forsaken him or read this wrong.
Elliot says, excuse me for a moment, and to the three of them, and turns to you and says, all you have?
Well, I did say I know where I'm from now. I'm sorry, Elliot. Maybe my state of mind is not...
Listen, you don't have to sleep in one of their beds,
moment.
but it doesn't mean you have to go and die either, you moron. Who's going to take the place when you go? I mean, chosen of Roga, sure. Yeah, nobody's questioning that. But Do you really have to die against 1,000 people by yourself? That doesn't sound like something Vroga would do.
I don't know what Virgo would do. And that's a problem.
Well, you know what? If you live long enough, you might be able to find out.
Thank you, friend. Although I do have reservations about fighting alongside an undead army.
Then don't.
We'll look back to the vigil.
He says, then don't.
I have to. I need to know whether I still have his favor. I have to.
May we beg our leave? It will take some time to set up one's camp, and there is other matters to be discussed.
They say, when do you intend to have the armies part? She says, when do you intend to have the armies part?
The army of Valoran will withdraw tomorrow morning. The Gish will leave perhaps in the evening.
If one will not stay, would you like to? You need not. You already have a plan, and I think it's a brilliant one.
I thank you for the kind offer, but I think I would like to be with one for the remaining time before the battle.
Understood. You get into your positions. However, I would appreciate it if one did not martyr himself at the walls. That's not the god you worship. She says, as trying to be as friendly as fucking possible. It's just delivered not easily.
Rayron would smile, and then he would he'd guide one out of the room. But once they were outside of the room and the doors had closed, he would turn one who is obviously taller than him. He would turn him so that they are looking.
It's funny because
Not
Jake
quite
in
eye
real
to
life
eye
is
because
like
he's a bit
5 foot
shorter.
nothing.
Yeah.
He's shorter than Josh.
And he would look at him. When I met you, you were a religious fanatic. Then you became a warrior, a friend, a compatriot. Then you became a friend that I held dearly, a brother that I could rely upon, and a ruler whose counsel I could seek. But today I see none of those. I see a ruler, a leader who I could follow. I see someone who I would stand in that hole in the wall and fight beside. Rest assured that should your end come, you won't do it on your own.
What are you saying?
Gish can move fast. We're designed for guerrilla warfare. You won't be there alone.
I appreciate that. But as everyone has pointed out, I will not face the army alone. I will, at their approach, pull back into the city and make my stand in there. Hit them from the back.
Elliot says, "There we go. From a martyr to a carrot. I like it. Red looks good on you. Let's go.
Raven will slap him on the shoulder. Come on now. You're not just a worshipper of Rogar. You're a king.
But for how much longer?
Well, stranger things have been known to happen.
Yes, they have. Let's go. I've got, like you said, some setting up to do.
Previously, Rayrin has always walked beside him. Now he's walking a step behind.
In front of one. I get it. Because he's the dog that you need to heal. I get it. No, that makes sense.
Just like crab walking around him.
No. And just like a dog, occasionally you got to throw him the bone.
You are filth, Scott.
What? No.
Naughty boy.
No.
Look at him.
So, you boys retreat back to your own army, where you give the commands to Leon, and you explain to Leon that he is heading to... So you walk in, Leon. How did the meeting go, Chosen?
I believe we have met an understanding of sorts. We will defend Vigil together. One, I believe, as a worshipper of Rogar, as a chosen of Rogar, he looks pointedly at you when he says this.
One wouldn't have accompanied you in. He doesn't. He just is setting up his stuff. He's gonna be alone.
I believe one, as a chosen of Rogar, will bait the headsman adequately. That said, we will withdraw towards Harad. We will travel for a day and a half, 2 days before turning around and making our way back towards the city with the intention of baiting in an attack. You will lead the force. I myself will attempt to infiltrate, with the magistrate's permission, the Gish. I should fit in well enough.
False retreat.
Once again.
Into the fray. Then we will honor our treaty against our own mercenaries and make sure we really leave a mark. And make sure we really leave a message for those who live in Adir.
Indeed.
Very well then. The men will be ready to leave in the morning, as you said, and we will head to the west, seemingly heading to Haude Gwenh itself.
No, south towards Harad.
Sorry, south towards Harad. It's not that I don't know this path well by now.
Yes. Though even that seems like it was months ago.
Indeed, it does.
Cold.
Chosen.
Leon.
Shepherd.
Rayrin would...
I was like, why does it sound familiar?
Leon Sherbert. Rayrin would take his leave.
Shepherd.
My God.
Chosen. Sorry, that just made me laugh.
I miss Kithel. He's so nice and supportive. Oh, I hate seeing one like that. I felt very proud of him though.
So
One's broken.
you leave Leon as he is, and he leads the army out in the morning to the south, as you said. Sorry, and you go join with the other Heathguard. You inform him of the plan. He says, "Really, these mercenaries look to invade this." You probably have this conversation even without one again. These mercenaries look to invade this land, your allies, with a treaty signed, while you're still paying them coin, despite the fact that they've received coin without even having to battle. These are brigands. These aren't mercenaries. These are brigands. I understand the mistake of confusing one with the other and hiring them in a time of need, but they should be destroyed.
Can I count upon your assistance?
Absolutely. Besides, sitting around has gotten my men a bit soft. Another battle would be a good thing. Another type of enemy would be a good thing. And chasing brigands off the highways of Amalta is something that our soldiers often have to do. If we have to chase them off the highways of Adir as well, so be it.
Thank you, Magistrate. He would give him the Amaltese salute, or whatever that is. I'm just in parallel, but he would give a proper Amaltese salute.
Yep. And of course, returns in kind, and informs his soldiers, men, tomorrow evening we'll be heading out. It seems there's a bit of a ruse. We have a rat we need to lead from its hole. And then, that all plays out. I don't know if you and one need to see any more words. And I believe one is going with you one is staying just outside the city, right? Come and get me, boys!
Literally at the front gate. He's staying right there.
Okay. So the next morning, the general heads
I will
south.
set up 2 banners, though, at my little tent. One, obviously, is our own, and the other is a Vrogar.
General obviously heads south. Wherein, with the other army, heads north. Wherein, one of the things that you see is that the free folk are kind of distracted by all the armies around, their own entertainment, blah, 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 blah. And so they don't notice the citizens, under the cover of night, slipping down the backside of the city and into the docks that they have down there, the huge barge that they have prepared. Not all the citizens are going to go there. Many of the citizens are going to have to stay inside, say, the temple and the library and all these other fortified structures inside the city as well. But many of them are going down to the barge where they have their supplies and they're prepared, and they drift off and away, keeping things nice and safe. Eventually, they drift away to the middle of the lake, and they are able to kind of again, the design of it is made to look, its whole cover, everything that it has to, it's made to, I don't want to say an optical illusion, because it's nothing that extreme. It's just one of those things where, like, you have to, like, look for it, and you're like, there it is. But you could easily, like, walk by a lake and not notice it, just because the coloration and whatnot. So a keen person would walk by, like, one would never walk by without seeing it. He'd be like, what's out on the lake? Oh, hey, look. You know what I mean? Anyways, so you guys are, you see this happening as you're kind of like pulling back to the north edge of the lake itself, over where you were actually originally set up your army's camp. Not too far from that farmer that you had encountered beforehand. And
Bloody farmer.
you allow time to pass. In fact, a day or so more to pass, 2 days even. And then, one. Here they come. You see them marching towards your where you stand, marching towards the walls, marching to where you literally alone are. And as they are charging forward, like not like full but like as they're marching forward towards the walls, a whole 1,000 of them. Your banner's seen. They know who you are. 3 of them ride up on horses, ahead of the rest.
One will stand by his banners and wait.
They approach you, weapons out, but not trained. You know what I mean? Like a bow over 2 people's laps, maybe a sword over another guy's lap, but not trained on you. Again, they see your banners. So they come forward. Do you say anything as they approach, or do you wait till them to speak?
Who are they?
It's 3 members of the Free Folk.
Just no one of import?
Nobody that just stands out to you.
Yeah, I'd just stand by the banners and wait.
Okay. So then one of them calls out, it doesn't really matter which one. Oi! You know it's a pretty shitty place to be right now.
He just looks.
I wanted him to be like, not from where I'm standing.
Says, you know, ain't got no qualms with the people of Valoran.
I know.
Casualty?
We are bound by treaty. And this is something that I must do.
Oh! You're one of the three! You're one of the chosen!
I'm one.
Yeah, that's what I said. You one of the ones she fucked.
No.
Ah.
Are you?
More ways than one. Listen, friend, it's not too late. You can move on. That's a friendly warning. Let me say that. We're not looking to pick a fight with you, but if you're standing there, you're standing there.
Do what you must.
We'll do what we can to not hurt you, but you know, things get messy in combat.
The favor will not be returned.
Oh. So, like, anyone coming past you, you're just going to swing at them? Even if they give you a nod and keep on walking?
Are we here to fight, or are we here to talk?
Oh, no. Yep. Best of luck, then. And he turns and he walks
Same
out
to
with the
you.
others.
May Vrogar bless this battlefield, and we'll see.
You say that, and actually the third one of the three kind of like turn around, turns back and says, "You're that one."
Aye.
Ain't fighting this battle. He turns and he rides back at the rest of them.
That's it.
and walks, like, goes back to the to join the rest of them. The army doesn't stop. They don't slow down. You imagine word is spread amongst them, but here they come. They're a good, you know, half kilometer away and approaching. How does one handle it as they're closer? Once they get within what, 300 meters, you're technically within longbow range. I mean, not accurate longbows, but still there.
One has a plan. He's not going to fight them at the gate. He's going to retreat within the city. But he is going to be done with the man and become the orc. He's bare-chested. He has his axe out, and he's just going to start psyching himself up. He's going to start screaming war cries. He will pace up and down.
Eat a human.
And then he will say, as loud as he can in Orcish, start saying every prayer he knows to Vrogar. And then as they get closer, he will turn and retreat into the city to find his place.
The city is mostly empty. Like in the first third of the city, 100% empty. The next third of the city is pretty fucking
I know
empty.
the area that she was talking about though, right?
She was talking about the graveyard. That's where she's going to go. The rest of the people are hiding back. Yeah. Why? What's up?
No, he's going to retreat to where her plan was.
Specifically,
but he wanted to be there at the gate. He wanted them and the hetman to see that he was there. And this is all about faith for him. This is about if what he is doing is right or wrong in the eyes of his deity.
Mm-hmm. Just trying to see if I could find. There we go. Map. Cool. So yeah, the graveyard itself. So if you walk into the front of the gates of the city and you walk straight backwards, you go past the stable, the watchtower, homes. You go past the garrison, which is huge. You go past the jail. There's mansions and whatnot. There's more homes back there. Smithy, tannery, all those things. You can imagine people are held up in the jail and the garrison because they're defendable, and the mansion because it's large and defendable. The tannery and smithy are probably abandoned. The stable, the watchtower, which was kind of destroyed, is all empty. But then you go back, again, the shop, the inn, those things are going to be empty. But all those houses houses along that back line are all going to be filled, including the Temple of Lady Aravel and the library are going to have people inside them. The graveyard itself is directly in front of the Temple of Lady Aravel. You've walked past it multiple times before. As you go back and you kind of like seeing people's positioning, you can actually see that literally there is only one person that is out of a building that is easily open and in sight. It is literally the Vigil herself, and she is standing in the graveyard.
He'll walk closer to her, and she'll probably see that he doesn't look right. He kind of looks almost ravenous, and he says, "They're coming.
She says,
I hope your plan works. I will set myself up in a position as when you engage to hopefully find the hetman or the leaders and come upon them with surprise." And then he will say in Orcish again, "Let this be what is right for you. Let me honor everything that you are and that you do. Let me be the embodiment of your fury, of your wrath. Let me carve these enemies from the face of a deer." And then he will find his own, he will get up, whether it be probably on a roof or something. He'll hide himself, and as they get closer, he'll prepare to cast invisibility. And
so funny that you know that spell. It doesn't feel like a one spell, but it makes sense for the class. It's so funny.
And he will prepare to more or less jump off the roof and engage once the whatever engaging these undead or whatever. Whenever the armies clash,
do you wait till they start, or do you wait until, or do you try to like one of those? They're getting too close to where I want to cause chaos to buy her time if she needs it. So do you act first, or do you wait till she acts first?
No, me acting first is just putting myself in the line of fire by myself. I will wait till the armies clash and engage, and then I will seek out the hetman or whoever is in charge.
Okay. So when you do that, so what happens is you wait until they clash, like you said. She's standing there, and you actually see she pulls out her sword, the Vigil, as she stands over by a particular monument amongst the graveyard itself, and she stands there praying over it, holding the sword to Lady Aravel, so on and so forth. And then at one point in time, after she finishes the prayer, they've already breached through the walls, they're making way through, they're charging now through, looking for you, looking for anybody inside here, looking to battle anything, smashing doors, smashing windows, running through houses, full on raiding this place, grabbing goods, running, all that stuff as you might imagine they would do. As they're running through, she takes the sword and she buries it into the dirt right in front of this particular monument. And she finishes like saying whatever prayer it is, getting her down onto one knee in front of it. As she pierces through that ground, you see rising up from the grounds all these spectral soldiers, all of these warriors of Vigil, every one of them, not undead, not zombies, not skeletons or any crap like that. We're talking seemingly ghosts rising from the grave. Each one of them, sword in hand, shield on arm, clad in armor. Beautifully crafted armor. Vigilite armor.
One still shudders.
Was that? Yeah, of course. As they stand there, making no noise, making no sound, no groans, no anything. Completely silent. They go rushing forward into the battle against the people of the free folk, and they start cutting through them. Their swords easily able to pass through the other swords that might be choosing to clash with them, passing through and cutting into the flesh. Their other people's weapons passing through these ghosts easily. Them kind of coming in and mowing through them. As you stand there on your rooftop waiting for your moment, as soon as they clash, you stand out and let out your like your big guttural orcish.
Does my invisibility work?
Yeah.
Okay, so Rogo is still with me at this point.
Big ol' orcish scream at the top of your lungs, you're able to drop from the roof onto a group of people and start cutting through them with your axe, easily cleaving through them. It's one of those things where they started to build up their own defenses there. The free folk aren't without magic amongst them, and so quickly a caster comes forward and throws up a spell that gives to them some degree of defense against these undead spectral weapons, and some degree of offense, enhancing the weapons that they themselves are holding. But, I mean, that mage is a problem that you solve. And so you cut through that mage easily and cause havoc and mayhem from behind the lines. They obviously see you. Your invisibility drops immediately with the first attack that you did, and are looking to hone in on you as well. But the amount of pressure from the undead on one side and you from the center, it's just too much for them to be able to hold back. Like you said, you brought yourself into this full orc fury mode, not this collected, calm orc that we've seen so far. Because yes, that's how I will describe him. We're talking full blown. I am fighting for even a drop of water because otherwise I will not survive. I am fighting to kill my captors, otherwise I will not survive this day. This rage, this fury that comes with those that have suffered through and survived the barren lands always carries deep inside them. You bring forward that ferocity, fighting through the people on the backside, trying to find whoever it is that is commanding them. Unfortunately, it's nobody that you know that you see giving commands. There's no hetman here. There's that big guy that we talked about beforehand. He's not here.
Negan Lowlander.
He is not here. We don't see even that guy that always quietly sits in the background of the hetman's place. We don't see him here either. It's just them battling for whatever reason they have chosen to do so. And so anyways, you're cutting through them with I don't want to say ease, but you're cutting through them with great success, carving all the way until you literally cut out the backside. It's one of those things where as you're standing there, like, and then ready to turn back around to wage your way back in from the backside as they're facing all these spectral creatures from the front, you hear a noise from behind you. As more allies join you, you hear a call from the distance. One! As wherein sees you, somehow surviving, covered in blood, opening a battle fury. I don't know if you choose to respond or not, but wherein would see one cutting his way back into the battlefield as him and his Gish, now with magically enchanted weapons and armor, wading into the field as well. Wherein, there's something different about this battlefield. Don't get me wrong, you have eyes overhead. You can see it. There's a raven circling, taking in the sights, watching for anything that might stand out to bring you information in the future. But you feel something else in your grasp. You feel joy. You feel heroism in your hand. As you cut through these people with a Maltese soldiers at your side, falling very quickly into step in their formations that were ingrained deep into your neural pathways at a young age. You cut side by side with your brothers and sisters at arms, feeling the joy of battle for a good cause and a good reason, knowing that you are not, unfortunately, you're fighting people that should be your allies, but you're defending people that are your allies. And there is no, what's the word I'm looking for here? There is no deception involved in any of this. There's nothing uncouth happening here. It feels good to fight this way. Anyways, I'd say our upbringing as a Maltese soldier leading you to believe this, you think. So you fight through them, and the battle is not very long. You have Gish soldiers cutting from behind, magically enhanced and prepared for these soldiers who are being slaughtered from the front by the undead soldiers, and one in the middle, just causing chaos and mayhem, taking down anything he can. One's no idiot. He's not going to just stand there in the middle going, "Hey guys, surround me, let's fight." One will come bursting out, cleave through 3 or 4 of these way lesser trained people, and then just jump through, like bash through a shut door, and to be inside there, a couple of soldiers coming up behind him, smashing and killing like 2 of them, and like slamming a door shut so their bodies are kind of like keeping it held at bay, running up a couple of steps, gathering his breath as a few more come running up behind, and he just ends up killing yelling, the people chasing the stairs up to him, goes out to a window, kicks it open, jumps down onto somebody else down below. Like, he's not dumb enough to just stand there in the open battle. He uses his surroundings to his benefit. Probably one of the most beautiful moments that happens is at one point in time, one takes a lot of damage. He is Nicky Boy. He has to fall back, grab a couple of the potions that he has on his person, and drink them, trying to gather his breath. Healing potion. Oh, thank God. Another one, just pour it directly on the wounds, watching it bubble and close beneath the wounds. Completely out of breath, searching for himself to find one of those. There it is. Restoration. And you can feel like all the ache and the pain in his muscles, all the vigor returning to him, giving him back his strength. As he does that, it gives him back his sensibilities, just enough to hear the whimpers and cries happening from behind another door inside the house. There are people here. He needs to defend them. And so he thinks of all the people that must have been inside Rid, as people came raiding through it the first and the second time. All the people that must have been covered, hoveling inside their homes, inside Kurzfall, or potentially even the orcs in their tents back on the Barren Lands as undead wage war around them, and what kind of fear it must bring to them. He falls back into his animalistic state. These people come in, threatening this poor family. They find a beast instead. Needless to say, the battle does not last very long. 2 hours maybe, tops, though who's counting time at this point. You guys very quickly annihilate the army that comes in here. Yes, people do retreat, are able to run. Maltese soldiers don't kill every man to the last. If you are clearly throwing down your weapon and running by and as a surrender or a retreat, they will let you pass by them. They won't just take a random stick because they can. That's not what they're trained to do. But more than half of the army that entered into these walls does not leave them. And literally the moment that the last enemy on this battlefield falls, literally the moments that their life teeters from a chance of living to no longer, every single solitary spirit drops back into the ground instantly. There's rejoicing of the Maltese soldiers, wherein covered in blood and also injured. One probably having some sort of rejoicing in his minds, though I imagine it doesn't come like people saying huzzah or anything like that.
One would brand himself.
Sure.
He would brand the mark of Rogai probably upon his chest.
Mm-hmm. And
he would try and get hold of his senses now that the battle seems won.
Does seem won. How do you boys? Do you try to reunite? What do you look for? What do you do?
Raymond would sort of push his way through the throng towards where one has, to be quite honest, incredibly survived.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, he probably should have died. And he looks him up and down and he says, I think Vrogai is with you indeed. You fight with the ferocity of a cornered wolf. I see that I was not wrong. And he offers his hand.
He takes your hand, and you see like there's still
your
a
hands
ferocity
clasp,
in his face.
The amount of blood that's on both of your hands and arms at the moment literally causes dripping to happen right there. This is not a normal battle like you fought beforehand. This was tight quarters, vastly outnumbered. There was a lot of blood that you had to fight through. And the undead injured many, if not killed many, as they went along. My apologies, go ahead. And with one, obviously, it's probably a lot of his, too. Go ahead. Hope you got your hepatitis shot. So Anno says that's how you get AIDS. That's funny.
Scotch.
As I am holding your arm, you see a look in his face, and he looks at you and he says, "One is dead. I am Grishka, and I will return to my people."
What is Grishka do then?
He will wait to see what Raven does, as in like where if he chooses to go, like if we're like what we're doing. He's in a bit of a battle rage still, and he's still trying to calm down, but he has cast aside his old adopted persona.
Raven
And
would
in surviving, he feels that Vrogo is still with him.
Raven would stand next to his friend. This is visceral and gory though it may be. This is the proof that his friend needed, that his entire purpose for existing was correct, and his current goal is correct, and so he will stand there with him as long as that friend needs to, until he starts getting a cold from all the congealing blood covering him.
When you said return to my people, where do you intend to return to, Jake?
To
The
home.
north or the east? Grishka.
To Valorant.
Fuck. Jesus Christ, Scott, you're a dick.
As you guys are able to kind of like make your way through there and try to make sure what kind of damage was done to the people here, you're able to eventually find that, because obviously you are more into the battlefield quicker than anybody else. You're able to make your way through the area where all the bodies were and held, about 2/3 of the city littered with well over 500 corpses out here, which is holy shit. But as you get to that back third of the city, there's a clean line, like almost where a whole bunch of specters held. What's what I'm looking for? What's that style?
Shield wall.
Yeah. What's it called?
It's a shield wall.
There's a specific word for it, but that's fine. Held kind of like people flank.
Phalanx.
Where they almost stood phalanx style, holding the battle, so you can literally step past the last body and there's no more there. And as you do that, you're actually stepping onto the graves, because no person trespassed the gravesite itself. And here you are stepping onto the graveyard where the last body lay. Or is it the last body? Up ahead you see one more.
No.
There are more people coming out of the buildings behind, past this spot, as they are coming out, because obviously you guys were there and in the moment, so you can come out first, forward. You see people coming out of their doors to witness what's going on. Very quickly, a few of them are rushing down and towards the graveyard.
Raren's gonna rush forward as well. This is Octavia, it's gotta be Octavia.
When you rush forward, you get there before, again, anybody else does because of proximity. But yes, it is in fact Octavia lying there on the ground, dead.
No wounds.
No
The cost of the ritual.
cost of the ritual. Then all of a sudden, I imagine one walks slowly up behind you as well, right? And then the three others come rushing. Well, not more than three. So like a dozen or so others come rushing forward, and a few more behind that as well. And then they slowly start trickling in, seeing what happens here. And immediately, Cedric drops down to a knee as soon as he runs over. Not that he's trying to be rude, but if you are at all in his way, he kind of like pushes past you, and he drops down to a knee to grab her and cradle her close. And he's like, for our people, he says, looking up at you, locking eyes. There's like a steelness to it. No accusation, no anger, just sadness. For our people.
I didn't know.
For all people of Adir.
You say that, and he looks up at you, kind of takes in the sight of what you are. He looks over, the high priest now finally joins up a bit slower. The high priest crouches down. He kind of like moves her over to rest her head on the high priest, and Cedric stands up. and walks right over to one, right up to him, covered in blood, viscera, and all that stuff. And he says, "For all people of Adir," and holds out a hand to clasp yours.
You fought alongside these people. He grasps the hand. And he takes it and he will hold it in a firm grip. The Wolf of Valoran is with you. The Hound of Rogar, alongside the people of Erebel. We'll see what happens. You fought well. You all fought well.
May we bury an axe into our differences and allow our people to unite. He will let go of your arm and then go back over to her, where he'll crouch down and pick her up and say, "There will be a selection. The vigil of vigil is not chosen by its people, but by the sword itself. By today's end, we will find out who has it in their heart to take her place. Will our companions join us in rejoicing who our new leader will be?"
Your allies are with you.
Wherein was looking towards one. He nods. Is she being held like Princess Carrie? Because that doesn't seem right for Octavia. Can we hold her where you hold the body
it's too disrespectful. Too disrespectful.
No, I don't mean over the shoulder. I mean where you have 6 people holding a body perfectly flat by using their shoulders to keep it flat.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. On shield or whatever it is. Yeah. So like I said, he hoists her up, but other people come over and grab her and all that stuff. So
yeah, I was going to say, because Wherein would offer to help.
The two of you fought hard. You're very injured. Our high priest will see to your wounds, see to your treatment while we prepare her for burial. All others, you have a duty. Vigil has never had an enemy in its walls before. And now there stands no enemies any longer. Let us remove what filth remains of them. And so people are going to kind of start coming out and clearing the bodies. He looks over to Heathgart and says, "You and your soldiers may remain as well. You're honored guests. Thank you." And he'll just turn and walk off. The one that will stay behind as a bit of for the diplomatic purposes will of course be the high priest, as I just said. And he'll say, "The temple is going to be occupied as we prepare her body, but please come to where is it? My apologies. But please come make your way to the garrison. We have more than enough rooms there, more than enough beds for people to find for the injured to find themselves a place to rest. I will see to it that everybody is seen to. The 3 of you," referring to you two plus Heathgart, personally.
Thank you.
And he will lead to the soldiers to the garrison so you guys can be appropriately. He's also not going to bring you into the temple of Lady Aravel to cast Lady Aravel spells on you before Lady Aravel. That's just disrespectful too. But he brings you guys to the garrison. I don't know if there's anything, if you two just kind of keep to yourself, especially one, Gregorian?
Yes, that's correct, Gregorian.
Sorry, what is it again?
Grishka.
I mean, I know I've said it before, right? So Grishka. I don't know if Grishka even wants to converse with anybody or becomes a bit of an introvert in this situation. But so he will see to the healing of your wounds. He doesn't look to make conversation with really anybody. The high priest. If you ask him questions, he'll answer them, but for the most part, keeps to himself. You guys allow for any conversation, or again, maybe Wherein.
One would try and tend to himself. he will apply his own bandages, and he will deal with his own wounds and stuff alone.
Wherein would stay.
Oh yeah, nice. Funny one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna take some getting used to. Have fun with that. Wherein would stay near Grishka if he could.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
he's clearly been through what could arguably be the most pivotal moment in his life. He's just going to hang about. Not going to try and engage, but he's there.
So he what's my brain's not working. So he after like all is said and done, later on that evening, they do have a burial ritual for her. She's not the only one that died. As I said, nobody was able to get to the graveyard, but there certainly were homes with people inside them. The undead did what they did, one did what he did, and the Gish did what they did. But there were other casualties. There were Maltese casualties who will be brought back to Amalta, and there were casualties of persons inside their homes. Many of the homes actually had guards inside them, not just like, hey, we're hiding. Like many of those people had guards inside them. Some of them had rushed out to join the battle. Others had stayed within to defend. The one that I described earlier with one was one where the people had probably already rushed out and died, and one found the persons remaining. So there were many people that died, and they're all receiving an appropriate burial here, but she, of course, gets the pinnacle one. There is, as the evening goes on, there's a time where people will go by and place their hand onto the hilt of the sword to see if any particular person will be chosen. And it's one of those things where, technically speaking, your characters can go by and grab that sword too. I imagine neither of you do. But where the sword will decide who its person is. After the ritual,
One will, if he's allowed, he will approach to watch.
Sure. You can watch again because this happens throughout the course of the day. It's not like it's all during one period of time. Mm-hmm. It stops during the ceremony of the burial because then people aren't like pieces of shit. But it does actually keep going on after that. So if you continue to watch after the ritual is over, you'll actually see that many people go by, and some people, right as they touch the sword, it's like almost like a shock, like, and they know it's not them. Others will grab the sword, and they hold on to it for moments, maybe several moments. You even at one point in time saw somebody come over there, grab the sword, and hoist it, and hold it in their arm and out. Not like, and you're thinking to yourself, almost like a King Arthur moment. It's like, does that mean he got it? But then after holding the sword, you can see like there's like almost like a struggle in their face and whatnot, and they eventually just have to lay the sword down, and so on, as others try to find out who it is that would grab the sword. Until finally the one comes that does grab the sword by the hilt, holds it calmly and coolly in their hand.
Fucking Elliot. Can you imagine?
Calmly and coolly in their hand. The sword seeming to speak to them and them to the sword in exchange, as a familiar looking soldier stands there. What was his name? Emmerich? Erwin Emmerich? Grasps the sword in his hand. And it's understood. Glug mug. It's understood that he will be taking this position.
Oops, shame you taunted it.
Do you say or do anything?
Me, just watching. Do people react around me?
Miriam would place a hand on the hilt of his sword and nod at the man who's just clearly picked up another sword that talks to you in some way, because he well understands the struggle of grappling with a sword that doesn't want to play ball.
One would just look to him and say, lead well.
When he hears you say that, looks over and sees the orc before him, saying, "Lead well." He looks to you, and he seems calmer. His seems a lot more still than the last time you saw him. And he nods.
He didn't win the fight with his sword.
And he nods appreciatively. He'll actually walk over to you and say, "It was an accident, right?"
I did not mean for anyone from the vigil. I did not know that there would be a child there. A lot of it lands on my decision to send them in there. So I will accept the blame. I am sorry this happened to your people.
It was an accident, he says, kind of speaking more to accepting it as well as confirming to you that everything was fine. I have a feeling we'll be seeing some more of each other for a short period of time. The sword has found nobody in this town worthy. Not yet. And so has asked me to hold it as a safeguard until someone comes that deserves the position. And so I will hold that position till the person comes.
Hold it well. If you don't mind, this is where I take my leave. I need to return home.
Yes, I would like to do that as well. Should you need us, obviously, you know where we live.
Beware, the hetman and a number of her force are still at large. Although I think they'll be leaving Vigil alone. We need to check to our own lands.
That we do. Now is the time to build our home.
Now is the time to build our wall, and he thinks for a second as he looks at it. Though, it is a nice view, isn't it?
Quite.
Wherein would nod. He's clearly happier about how everything's going at the moment, and so he will turn and begin walking towards horses that are presumably somewhere where the crow will come down, land on. No, I can.
When you guys are heading back to the army, Heathcart will say to you, we'll lean over to one and say, "So, are we going to be able to do that quick travel back to the west?"
One just looks to him and is like, "Let's see the state of my city first, shall we?"
And my axe. So he's like, he agrees. He like nods or whatever. And so you guys are able to head out, rejoin with Leon, and are able to rejoin with the Gish army and start heading north, bringing with you your injured and your dead from the battle and whatnot, and start heading north. And finally, we can end this session.
Fuck the free folk.
I am recording. I just have to figure out how to do the first two parts. I mean, I know how, kind of. I just haven't done it in 2.5 years, I think.
I swear to God, if I meet that hetman, I'm gonna behead her so hard.
I really gotta pee. Do you guys want to blather on for a couple of minutes, like game officially over, but do a little bit of out-of-game chatter, or shall we fade to black? Because I'm gonna go pee either way, so it's either
gotta be Jake's gotta. I mean, the man must be dead on his feet, except on his ass, which is probably numb by now.
That's all right. I had a bit of adrenaline go through me, so I'm alright.
Look me. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah. I'll stick around and chat till you get back or whatever.
Sure.
right.
So I will leave it live for you guys, and I'll be right back. Okay.
That was really good, Jake.
We got a lot of good RP today.
That was so good. Like given I know that was like nearly 8 hours of RP, right? But like the amount of like progression, particularly the progression that we went through was huge.
Yeah, that was very interesting. But now it's like we've got this other shit to deal with. I've got to deal with 2 and 3, which I don't know what's going to happen there.
They can't dispute the fact that you're the chosen of Rogar now. 1 versus 1,000, but 1 did not remain. Only the Wolf of Valorin. Come on, that's a story. Like if I was a bard, I'd be all over this shit. I'd be.
That's why Elliot's got to compose it.
Exactly.
But then we've got to deal, we went through so much turmoil. It's like episode started off and it was like
vicious.
Kind of neutral, and then it was just downhill so fast.
It was so bad.
Right down to the last 2 hours where then it just went right back up.
Yeah. I was like at the lowest point where we were outside the walls. I was just like, fuck me. We're doomed. We fucked up. We made a mistake somewhere along the lines. I was like, at what point do we just jump ship and be like, you know what? Is it not better to just go and be free than this?
Yeah. I had like such a thing planned out for 1 too, because like I said, he was broken. He was questioning his faith, not see if he was doing right by by Rogar. And I was just like, he was just going to be a broken, useless person for who knows how long. But
he's gonna be
not
one,
the way
but
this went, so.
I'm sorry, that was a poor joke.
All right.
It was good.
Good. Oh man, I'm glad that one way or the other, I honestly went into the stream expecting the end of the visual issue to be a huge battle that you guys just kind of like let happen, and the free folk would have destroyed enough of visual, not completely destroyed it, but broken down enough of visual that you could have, similar to Haude Gwenh, had a hand in the rebuilding of it to have it rebuilt in a more amicable way or whatnot. But instead, it went way more like good than that. Like, holy shit, you guys are like, no, instead of altering them, we altered ourselves to work with them more closely. Not that they're not going to have to make changes too. It's not like 100% you're bending at the knee or whatever, but I didn't expect this to go this way. As a matter of fact, somebody at one point in time did a huge daddy drop for a particular thing that I have to refund. So even though I have to go soon because I have to go get my daughter, let me, while you guys finish chattering, let me refund that because it didn't take place. I wasn't able to do what they asked. So,
you know what? I'm really excited to rebuild Reed and build up Valorant and Kurzful. And actually, I'm thinking now, maybe we can just leave Haude Gwenh to his devices for a bit.
Yeah, I don't know what we'll do. Grishka's focus is on just going home.
Yeah, I agree. Well, this is what we've been wanting for so long, is just to go home and enjoy those mornings where you'd go out and Kithel will be patrolling the town and Glugmug will be like shoving his head in a barrel full of water because he's a bit strange. Hans will be glaring at someone, you know. Damn.
Yeah, that was. Although we've got a bit of shit going on when we get back with this full meeting that we've got to take care of now.
I know, but I think honestly, you know what I'm considering? We've got how many letters? Like 6 letters, 5 letters? I don't know.
Yeah, it was 5 letters. I think were being sent out. Mm-hmm.
I'm tempted.
Scott, you should let us level after that. Level.
Excuse me. When was the last time you leveled?
Super long ago.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
like
not long.
Super long ago.
It was like 2
Fucking
sessions.
forever ago.
Two sessions. It was like
It was like 6
sessions.
months. I think.
Aren't you guys like level 11? Shut up.
No.
I can be level 11 if
Wait, are
you
you
like.
guys level?
Okay, yeah, we're level 11.
Are you guys level 7?
No, level
No.
6.
You're 6 now.
I need level 7.
You become level 7. Man, because Tesh is a sorcerer. When Tesh goes level, I think it's when Tesh goes level 10, things get interesting. Actually, things will start getting interesting when Tesh goes level 8. Because at level 8, he gains access to 4th level spells, which is the top tier of what an adroit is allowed. And that's when your schooling, anything you learn beyond that point, is supposed to be, this is learned in Thronekeeper, anything that's beyond that point has to be permitted. Has to be watched. So, I think you guys, I wouldn't be so quick to level, because when you go level 8, after that, and you're lucky you got that extra level. That's because he's a sorcerer, not a wizard. Otherwise, he'd get spells a little quicker. That's when the Arcane Congress is like, "Hello, friends." So, let's talk about the rules.
Oh no, they go full Valley Girl on us.
Yeah. Command Nag in chat. All right. Anyways, I do want to go and get my little loved one. It was so awesome to play with you guys for an 8-hour stream, or
Fuck
just shy
me,
of an
that
8-hour
was
stream,
long.
right? Yeah, it was amazing. I was so happy. It made up for one of the sessions that we missed
Yeah.
recently. So it was really good. And I think we finally, aside from like a small amount of, I honestly think, and I don't know, I honestly think next session, we'll be able to finish up some RPE stuff at the
We're
beginning.
gonna get to do some kingdom rolls.
Yeah, and then I honestly expect there to be, what I was kind of hoping to do is a multi-month jump.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, like a good 3-month jump to happen.
Yeah.
Which allows for a lot. And then unfortunately,
Where
lots
the
of
kingdom goes to shit.
lots of bad shit has happened because of like losing raid and this and that and that and that.
But
Lots
we
of bad
do
shit.
get bonuses to shit for winning battles.
Oh yeah. But lots of bad shit happens that hasn't
Yeah.
hit you yet, and lots of good stuff happened that hasn't hit you yet. Like for instance, the spoils of war. Actually, can we do that now? Right before we pop off chat, can we roll 2d6 plus 2? So with those 2 battles that you lost that you won last week, each of those somebody dropped daddies or spoils of war. So more or less like the equipment, the stuff that you had found on the army, yeah, or persons of interest that you were able to offer back, or whatever the case may be.
2d6 plus 2, yeah?
Yeah, because it's 1d6 plus 1 for each spoils of war, and you got 2 of them. You got 10 BP. So 10 BP added to your pool, which that pool also still needs to be adjusted for a bunch of other reasons, and there's a lot of costs. That
I've just added it, by the way.
Of course. So that pool is actually very wrong, and we'll hit you with everything next week when we play. So unless there's anything else that you guys want to say, thank you so much, everybody that was watched for the past 8 hours.
Yeah,
Holy
thank you.
Fuck.
Yeah, fuck me.
Iron Manning this.
What a roller coaster.
Yeah, I know. Jesus. I'm glad we didn't leave it there, because I'd have spent the rest of the day moping around being depressed.
So I better see chat blowing up Kingmaker spoilers when I wake up.
Rena, like, oh. Look at the grin on Scott's face! Someone just spied it!
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're trying to move them into our video. We should just obliterate.
I have, sub. Hey, Norway Green for the sub. Thank you so much, Ever. Anything else that anybody wants to do or say right before we jump out of here? Kappa, and then I need to paste something over here. No, not
Thanks
you.
for coming, everyone. It was good. I'm glad that, like,
Neil does love it when you come.
we had... Well, at least I didn't come into the mud. Scott.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Let's all go. Let's all go. Let's all. Oh, Steve dropped a scout report that never needed to be done. So I'm going to refund Steve's scout report as well, because I never needed that for anything. So I just want to make sure I'm going through all these and hold on. Because
Don't forget that Fortune's favor, Anna.
one second. I'm going to hold you to that. I expect that. Hold on 1 second. Accept. Because they're...
Yeah, Jake's been up all fucking morning, and it's now
I've been up
light.
for 24 hours now.
Jesus Christ. That is why this man is covered in blood and screaming like an animal. Jesus. Man,
Okay.
you're a tank, Jake. I legitimately could not do that.
What are you gonna do?
All right. Cool.
Love Kingmaker.
Sorry.
Yeah, me too.
I was just making sure that I get all the different things because now I have to look at because there are technically remaining fortune's favors and trump cards between the different campaigns. So I just got to because technically not everything is played out yet, but that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. See you guys next week or tomorrow night or tonight on Lost Initiative. Tomorrow night here, Friday night. Yeah,
Scott's
bye.
like, Jesus Christ,
Bye.
tonight I lost a tissue.
Oh God, I gotta go.